Hey, this is Danielle from Black Business Boom and Black Owned Nashville, and I am here with Kamilah Sanders from the Damn Podcast, and she's going to be talking to us about the metaverse today, and
Yeah.
specifically how business owners can get involved in the metaverse, how Black people can get involved, how Black businesses can thrive in the metaverse. So I'm excited about this conversation because I'm telling you, I know very, very little about the metaverse. I assume that a lot of folks tuning in feel the same way. And Kamilah was the very first person that I saw posting about the metaverse and NFTs and giving us a lot of information. So I'm so excited to have her here. How are you, Kamilah?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Danielle.
Absolutely. So let's get to it.
Yeah.
What is the metaverse?
Well, okay. So the metaverse. So I know, like when I did an event last year, right in November of last year, and it was a week after Facebook announced that they're changing their name to Meta, right? And I know you were like, "What?
I literally was commenting like, I don't even understand what's happening right now."
What's happening, right?" So basically, I'm going to tell you that the what people are saying, like the metaverse, right? It's the next iteration of what's happening digitally, right? With the internet and everything, right? So, for example, with this live stream, instead of people just watching and maybe commenting, it'll be kind of like we're in the same room together and there's other people in the room with us. So basically, the metaverse it's like the digital and physical worlds are combining, right, to give an immersive experience. And so when you hear people talk about the metaverse, they might be talking about different worlds or different metaverse platforms. And it's like, I'm just going to name them. I know you don't know any of the ones that
I've heard of Horizon World.
Right. Okay, Horizon, of course, because that's Facebook. But there's Crypto Voxels, there's Decentraland, there's Sandbox with Snoop is in. So people will call like Roblox, like I know you heard of that. Mm-hmm. Everyone that has kids has heard of that. Fortnite, that Travis Scott like did a concert in. There's all these different spaces, alt space VR, and you do not have to have a VR headset to get in.
Some of them I was under the impression I needed like a whole setup over here and an Oculus.
You do not need a setup. Like there's a metaverse called Crypto Voxels. You can join in with one click into your phone. Remember that Kanye and Drake concert? Mm-hmm. Like I just clicked on my phone and I was in Crypto Voxels watching it, right? Yes. So and you can also use your PC, and there are some worlds that do require a VR headset to get in. So but I will say, like, so the ideal, so this is something that's being built. So this is why Facebook was like, I'm changing my name because now I want to confuse people and I want people to think of Facebook when we say metaverse.
Yeah, right? Like Facebook owns the metaverse, because that was my first thing. I thought Facebook was the metaverse and owned the metaverse.
No. Like, people, I'm going to tell you now, do not fall for that, right? Because that's just a marketing scheme, right? Because the metaverse is decentralized, ideally, right? Mm-hmm. That's meaning that there's no central entity that's over it. So when we're on Facebook, Facebook is doing everything. Facebook owns your data. Facebook owns your content and is not paying you for any of that, right? Mm-hmm. So this decentralized metaverse is where we will own our own content, right? We will have autonomy to be able to do whatever we want to do in this.
I love that. And that's a great segue, because I'm trying to figure out, as a person that works with Black business owners, works with business owners all the time, as well as creatives, and mm-hmm. how do we get involved? Like, how do we make money? So we're seeing NFTs, but I know that there are other ways that you're able to make money. And like you said, now you can truly own and monetize your content using the metaverse. So mm-hmm. Can you give us some examples of how that might work, and who might be a fit for that?
It really is anybody. It's anyone, right? I mean, you can, we always talk about people that are just taking in content versus creating content, right? So you could be someone that purchases an NFT or that someone that creates an NFT, but with the metaverse, I mean, you can actually participate in it. So I'll give you an example. When I started talking about this with the event that I did with Nashville Design Week, we had an event at Say Gallery. Shout out to Clarence. That was an in real life event, right? And so it was displaying NFT art, and we had some augmented reality there. And it was basically like a networking event where people were, talking. There was a DJ, drinks, everything. The same event happened in the metaverse, in AltSpace VR, right? And so there was a bar there. And so I'll tell you that we basically maxed out the gallery with the number of people that were there, 200 plus people, right? In this metaverse space, we also had 200 plus people. So you're talking about you do an event, and not only do you have people from Nashville, but you have people globally that will attend your event. So that's an increased reach, right? And then you're increasing the capacity. It's also, you're still having that networking atmosphere, right, with the event. And then you're also giving accessibility. So, during COVID, like, I was happy when they had events online because I was like, I got kids, I can't ever go to everything. And I know you're like, I'm not going to everything because COVID.
Exactly.
and there's just people that maybe have mobility issues and they can't go to everything, but then, or people that are introverted and they'll go to a metaverse party and like dance or, do whatever else. And so you're able to have accessibility. You're also able to cut out the middleman. So, with a business, you might say, oh, I need a brick and mortar, right? You don't have to have that, right? So it cuts costs. Especially for artists, you might be like, well, I want to get into a gallery. No, I can create my own gallery, right? There is, like, the possibilities are limitless. Like, there's an Black opera singer, and she did a concert in the metaverse and she did it underwater. Right. So globally, people can attend, and it can be, anything that you imagine it. There's people having church in the metaverse. So
really,
if you are a pastor, there's people that have their offices in the metaverse, right? So you can meet with different clients, and it's as if you are still there. So it's like, maybe I would say like Zoom on steroids, right?
That's what I was going to ask. Like, why wouldn't I just use Zoom? But I guess it's about the experience.
Yeah, it's about, because, like for me on Zoom and even attending all of these virtual conferences, like you're just getting the information thrown at you. But the best part of a conference or a meeting, like in a business, is those side conversations that happen and that networking that happens. And so with this, you're able to have an immersive experience where you can like feel like someone's like right next to you, and that
even without the headset. So even without the headset, because I'm clearly slow. So
not as much as without the headset, but like if you go into these different worlds, there's different districts. There's like business districts, there's fashion districts. So you can go into these different places. And you can have something, depending on what the metaverse is, people can go to your place of business on a regular basis. Naughty by Nature, they actually have a store in the metaverse where you can get items, right? They had a concert. Like there's so many different applications, and really it's just expanding your business and cutting out the middleman, cutting out costs, and helping you reach different people in a different way. And like I said, it's just the next iteration of what we're doing digitally.
And as a consumer, if I wanted to participate in events or patronize businesses, I would create an avatar. Is that's how it works?
Right. So yeah, any of these metaverses, they have different avatars. They look differently. But when you sign up or when you sign in, that's the first thing that you'll do is create this avatar.
Okay.
And it
I started to think about, just Facebook rolling out the avatars, a couple years ago. Yeah. And all of the things that we've seen happen over the last few years, I feel like have been leading to the metaverse. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but I feel like I started to sit back one day. I think I was drinking, but I just started to think about it. It does. And I just started to think, like, it feels like, and I totally feel like the pandemic is real. So let me preface by saying that. But even the things that have happened throughout the pandemic and us getting used to doing everything virtually and ordering everything online, I feel like is right in line with the launch of the metaverse. I'm not saying, I want to make sure people understand what I'm saying clearly, that I'm not saying I think that the pandemic was created to launch the metaverse, but
no, it just accelerated things.
Exactly.
Right?
I feel like it accelerated the launch and the growth of it, because we have been groomed to not leave our house and to have these virtual interactions. Right. And I mean, I looked up today and realized, I don't know when, I think I left my house the last time last Thursday. Like, I haven't left the house in well over a week. I've done everything virtually for the last week at least of my life, so we have been conditioned now for it to be perfectly normal for us to do everything virtually and to communicate with folks and to hold meetings and to order things and have it, brought to our house. So it's just weird. And like I said, I thought back to when Facebook first launched the avatars and everybody was like creating their avatar, and I was like, they were getting us ready, like they were grooming us for this next universe. But I'm excited about it. Now tell us a little bit about the event that's coming up next week.
Right. So you mentioned, so I co-host the DAM podcast, stands for Digital Assets and Metaverse, along with 3 other co-hosts. And one is Brian Sexton. A lot of people know him. And Keith. And so that podcast was basically created to educate people on what's going on in this space, whether it's NFTs, blockchain, crypto, metaverse, all of that. And part of that component is really an initiative with our community to start talking about this in an in-person basis, right? Mm-hmm. So with the podcast, it's very informational. So if you are just learning about this stuff, like, we're not necessarily chit-chatting. We are talking about, what is the definition of this? What does this mean? What does this mean for us? Like, what is happening in this space? How can you be secure? What is a wallet? Like, those basic things that people need to know. And so you can listen to the podcast, but also there will be an in-person event. It'll happen next Friday. And so basically we kind of got everybody together that's in this space that we know, right? And actually the premise of all of these organizations is to build Black wealth, right?
Absolutely.
What we're about. So we have people making moves, of course. We have Joseph Pruitt's group, which is Nashville Investors in Crypto and Stock. Mm-hmm. We also have Ivan, who's a resident expert on NFTs, his Be Nashville organization. It will be at the local distro starting at 6:00. And am I leaving anybody out?
I think that's it. I think that's all of us.
Going out. So we also have Project Pivot, which is a part of Pivot Tech, right? That we're all coming together for this event.
As well as Leah Avery and Just Play.
Exactly. So Leah Avery, Just Play Entertainment, she is also having something right after the event. So if you use the code, I think it's DAM Crew, then you can get $5 off that event. So, she does those fun game nights. So you can go to justplayentertainment.com and register that, because you do have to register in advance. But anyone that attends our event, they can get a discount off of that event that happens afterwards.
Fantastic. So I want to make sure y'all caught all of that. We are teaming up to make sure that Black people are not getting left behind when it comes to the metaverse. Again, we're looking for ways to build wealth, to build community, and to use the metaverse so that we don't get left behind. So Brian reached out and was like, we all need to just come together and make some things happen. So next Friday, the 25th, at the local distro, starting at 6 p.m. Come on out and join us. It's going to be an educational opportunity. And that's what I really love about the DAM podcast. And I'll drop the link now to the DAM podcast here in the chat. But I want you all to understand, like, we, of course, there's so much more to cover than what we just talked about right here. And
Right.
the damn podcast is going to be your place to get all that information. And they are breaking it down, making it simple and easy for us to understand these things, as well as giving us actions that we can do to get involved and not get left behind. What the last thing I want is for us to end up in a situation where the metaverse is taking off, which it already is and has, and we still are like, what is the metaverse? Like, I don't want us to be 2 years from now still trying to figure out what is this thing and how can we get involved. It is happening, just like folks back in the 90s were like, the internet, oh, I don't have to worry about that, right? And there were a lot of folks that were just like, I don't have to get involved, I don't have to know much about that. And those same folks are still behind, and we 20 years later. So I really want to make sure that, I'm using my influence and network in order to make sure that our community understands these principles and don't get left behind and can make some money, because that is a very important.
I mean, there's so many opportunities to make money with it. I mean, just expanding your business, but then we didn't even talk about buying real estate in the metaverse, which is very similar to buying real estate in person, so there's so many different topics, but we'll cover it on the podcast.
That's the great thing. Right. Yep, we don't have to cover it all right now. Go and get the podcast. I dropped the link in the comments. Also, there's another event coming up next week, the Black Meta Fest, the future of Black history. So I'm excited about that. It's a week-long educational and social festival featuring Black creativity and Black history with 7 unique themed days. So that is really cool way to be bringing Black people into the metaverse by talking about Black history and having some immersive experiences. Can you tell us anything else about that event next week?
Yes. So that event was basically brought together by a community of people that were into this topic, interested in this topic. Maybe some people didn't know, maybe some people knew more, but it's probably about 20 to 30 people that came together as a community to organize this event, right? And so it starts on Monday of next week, goes all the way through Sunday. Every day we are having different programming. So for example, so we're doing onboarding, right? So we'll meet in Clubhouse, we'll onboard you to the different metaverse spaces and tell you how to get in, how to access. We're doing movies. There will be on Thursday, there's someone named Brian Young, who is a automotive designer. He's a Black automotive designer. He will be live designing a car in Gravity Sketch, and it will be available as an NFT for attendees, right? And if you do attend any of these events, you can get a POAP, which is a free NFT. So if you have not gotten an NFT yet, this could be your first one. And we have panel discussions. There's even on Saturday, there is dating in the metaverse. I don't know exactly what's happening there, but you might want to attend if you're single. And
I like it.
Yeah, there's also kids programming that'll happen on Saturday where they're having an NFT gallery. And we're going to culminate all that on Sunday with church in the metaverse in the morning and panel discussion talking about spirituality. Check out the website. I would say register at the link on the website, which is the Eventbrite, because you'll get instructions on how to get into these spaces. And you'll get all the information on the schedule and everything else. But it's a good opportunity just to get your feet wet. And
That's why I'm like, I'm going to join just to see what's going on and try to learn more. And not only that, to make sure I'm on their email list so I can learn about opportunities that come up down the line. Exactly. I dropped that link as well. That is blackmeta.io. So you can register there for the week-long Black History event next week that is for us and about our history. So I'm really excited about that. But again, we're going to be at Local Distro next Friday at 6 p.m. So if you want to come out in person, learn more about the metaverse, ask the questions, learn from the local experts, then that's a great opportunity for you to come out and join us next Friday at the local distro, which is of course Black owned, and that's going to be followed by an event by Just Play where you can have some fun and play some games. So it's going to be a good time.
Right.
I think we learned a lot today. I'm excited, but I want to make sure the Damn podcast is available on all streaming platforms. So make sure you go and you look up the Damn podcast. I also dropped the link in the comments for that. Go and check out the podcast. It's going to be continuously providing education for us in this space, everything related to metaverse, crypto, NFTs, all of these things that we need to know to make sure that we don't get left behind. And I'm sure they'll be giving us a lot more content about Black-owned businesses and how we can take advantage. This podcast was made for us, for Black people, to ensure that we get what we need to be successful in the metaverse. So I'm really excited about it. Thank you so much for joining me, Kamilah.
Danielle.
I really enjoyed learning from you. And again, you were the first person that I saw that was like, I hosted this event. And I'm like, girl, how? Like, I got to figure this out.
For a long time, Danielle. No.
It's like, it's amazing. So we appreciate you for being a trailblazer and also lending your time and expertise to my network as well. So thank you so much. And thanks so much